The Better Business Analysis Institute
presents the Better Business Analysis podcast with
Benjamin Walsh.
Last week, I had the pleasure of talking to Pankaj Zanke, who has over 10 years' experience in data and data analytics. And we had a conversation about big data, AI, and the insurance industry. Pankaj has worked in many different roles like engineer, architect, project manager, technical BA for some big companies in the US like United Health, Home Depot, Progressive Insurance. Pankaj also has a master's degree in data science and computational analysis from Georgia Institute of Technology. He's published quite a few scholarly papers and he currently has some patents pending. So it was a pleasure to talk to him. Let's take a listen.
Hi, Ben. I'm good. And, thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
Not a problem. And sorry about the technical issues we had this morning. Just read out the bit of a background about you. You're an interesting character. Obviously, you've come from a technical background, data background, and you've also dabbled in business analysis and you give a unique perspective to the world of specifically big data and AI we're going to talk about today.
My background is rooted in a strong foundation of educations and experience in the data analytics and industry. I completed my bachelor's into information technology and which laid the groundwork for my technical skills. Right now, I'm pursuing my Master of Science in data science analytics from Georgia University from USA, which is one of the best topmost university in the USA, which strengthen my expertise in this rapidly evolving, the data science industry. Professionally, I have played multiple roles throughout my decade of experience, like a data engineer, data analyst, solution architect, project manager. And I have worked on multiple domains like the retail, insurance, finance, healthcare. I do have experience in bringing the insight from the big data. I have multiple scholarly articles and white papers are published in multiple, the Google Scholar Index journals and the conferences, which is one of the best thing happened for me as well. Personally, I also, as you know that, like I also got invited multiple times on multiple podcasts and for panel discussion how the big data and AI is impacting the different industries. So I'm very excited here to be a part of your podcast.
No, and look, we're excited to have you. So why was it that you were captured by the world of data and analytics? What is it about that? What is it about data and analytics that gets you up in the morning and excited and gets you to go to university again, do your master's, write white papers? What is it about that particular area that you are so excited about?
See, data is not about the numbers. It's a kind of tools, which will give you the insights from the messy database. And that is one of the challenge. You have to be very curious. Like when you work in the database industry or data analytics industry, you should be ready to ask the questions to the business. This will help the to build the business strategies, to grow your business, to grow your individual characters as well, right? And that is why I'm thinking about like always database or data science industries are growing very, very faster. If you have a good mindset, as and when I work on the messy data, that's bring the best out of me. How I can bring the insights from this messy database and messy data, and how what are the different dashboard I can create throughout the different data source which is available. How I can help my clients to understand this data. So that is really, these are the different things which is help me to spark and to work on the data science.
Yeah, okay. So we talked about messy data, and we'll probably get to that later on as a good example.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't forget about that. People talk about structured data, and then people talk about unstructured data. I guess we're talking about messy
Yeah.
data here. So we'll get to that in a minute because I don't think that the general person in business really understands the difference there. So we might get to that. From your perspective, what does big data and AI truly mean to business today? We hear the buzzwords. What do
Mhm.
those two words actually mean from your perspective?
See, the big data is nothing but represent a vast amount of data which is getting generated from the different data sources. Right now, we have social media, different transactions, sensors, right? Like there are multiple invoices, billing systems, legacy systems, the audio data as well as the video data. All these data are getting generated from the different data source, and the companies can now collect and analyze this data when processed effectively offer the deep insight into the customer behavior, market trends, the what are the different flyers we should provide, or a promo code we should provide to the customer, so that our retail business can grow more than expected, right? Out of this big data, companies are more working toward the predictive mindset, and they are started bringing the insight from the different data sources available. If you think about the AI, right? AI is nothing but the educated computer system which is help to automate all this process, to analyze your different data points, to build the algorithms and machine learning techniques to interpret your data. AI system can automate the complex process and also to provide the real insights from your available data sources.
Right. And so without the big data, without what we just described, what you just described as big data, which is bringing out all the different channels of data you've got, sources, whatever it is, without that, is that a prerequisite for AI to be successful in a business?
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you really want the AI to successful in the business, right? We should have that mindset in our leadership, and at the same time, we also have to train our resources to move and to adapt to the AI technologies. AI, as I mentioned, AI is nothing but the educated computer system where you
Yep.
can train them with the available data to from your traditional database to your cloud base and your big database.
So if you were to explain big data to your grandma, why is it different to maybe how organizations are using their data today? So I'll give you an example. I'm working for one organization, or one of my clients
Mhm.
has a data warehouse. Okay.
Okay.
It has
Mhm.
part of their information. They've been on the journey of creating this data warehouse for, for years and years and years. Still doesn't completely encapsulate every single data, or the perfect data model for their organization, right? And they're a large client, they've got a lot of money. So why is big data different to traditional data?
Yeah, sure. Um, you mentioned about the to explain the big data to a grandmother, right? So imagine you have a big jar of candies with all kind of flavors and colors mixed together, right? Traditional data would be like having a just small jar with only a few candies. It is easy to count and see what you have in that small jar, right? But now think about the big data, having a giant jar filled with thousands of candies, all mixed, all mixed up. You have candies of many different flavors, color, shape, and they come from the various places as well. To understand what kind of candies are in that jar, right? You need to sort them through very carefully, right? To use a special tool to figure out things like which flavors are most common and which colors are most common, what are the different sizes are available, what are the different brands are available for that candies. To divide all these things, you need a specific tool. So that is how the big data come into the picture. Like, the big data is differ because it is a much bigger and more complex. Instead of just a few pieces of information, you have huge amount of data from many different sources, just like sorting to the giant car of candies. Businesses use the special tools and method to organize and to understand this large amount of data to make the better decisions.
Yeah, so those same techniques that work in your small jar of candy are not going to work for your large jar of candy. You need to start to evolve and start to work in a different way on a much bigger scale. What are some of the ways in which big data has helped the insurance industry?
A great example of how the big data and AI is getting used in the insurance industry is it is in the area of the personalized insurance pricing. Traditionally, insurance companies are mostly consider the age, locations, and driving history. But however, with the big data, insurers now collect and analyze a much larger data set that includes your driving patterns, your visiting you places, age, locations, right? And all this is happening like, for some instance, like some insurance companies are started installing a telematic device in your car that helps them to get the real time data from your driving patterns, and based on that your insurance premiums are getting decided. So this approach not only reward the safe drivers behavior but also help the insurers to better predict risk and to reduce the losses.
I think some people feel a bit scared around the fact that we've talked about social media before and the fact that, to be honest, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, if they want to predict what you do next, they can probably do that now with the data they've got. And we've talked about that and how scary that is.
Right.
But the fact that the insurance company, in a real practical way, using this to decide on your premium levels and risk and what might be a bad driver, what might be a good driver. What is the benefit for the customer?
One thing is coming to my mind is like the personalized pricing. Insurance companies use the big data to analyze the detailed customer informations and behavior. For example, as I mentioned, few of the insurance companies started installing the telematic
Yes.
devices into your car. So the telematic data from the vehicle insurance can access and drive to decide your premium. That help the customer. At the same time, big data enable the insurers to refine their risk model by incorporating the wide range of data sources. Also, the big data helping them to detect the fraud into the claim processing. Customers, they try to submit the fraud claim. So based on the customer behavior, their historical pattern, the claims history, the insurance company can use that data and detect the fraud. The big data also helping the insurance company to enhance the customer services, to take their real time feedback about the different sources, right? Like what are the different products the insurance company should build, and how they can how all these things can help them in a claim processing, faster claim processing. There are a couple of devices, and in fact one of my patent is also got approved, which is related to a claim processing. I have the that device patent with, like, it is a VR device which will collect all your data from your locations, and that will get tied to your policies and claim, and that will help to process your claim faster than expected. AI technologies and the big data technologies is helping insurance companies to automate the routine task.
So we talked about the fact that insurance is probably, if you talked about a spectrum, insurance is probably right on the progressive end, right? They're starting to use
Yeah,
big data for everything now, right? They've started to leverage it for everything, like you said, not just to manage their risk or work out if you're a bad driver or they should pay out, but also now in
yeah.
terms of what products they should create. You've just mentioned that you've got a patent for a VR tech, which is around collecting that data faster. So almost, I guess, if you're dealing with an insurance company who's in this space, it's probably in your best interest to share information with them. Would that be your assessment, that you're better off allowing an insurance company deep into your data pocket? They're going to make predictions about you based on the data they've got.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Like, as I mentioned, right, all these new technique, database, data sources, right? They are helping the insurance company to decide on the new product developments. And there are most of the companies are working on the AI models, like
Yes.
how they can build the AI model from policy creation to claim creation to underwriting process.
It's quite scary, I think, for some people. I think they would come away and think that's scary. But the reality is it's happening right now. It's not something you can ignore. It's going to be part of your life. And other
Right.
industries are going to catch on and use that model. So banking, I guess, is quite a traditional, but I imagine banking will start to get into a very similar example where they can probably predict investments and they can predict which products are going to be more attractive to a customer.
Yep, sure.
Now, AI is often misunderstood, and you talked about the fact that AI is just really, this engine, if you like. But Could you break up some of the components, maybe from starting with big data? So let's just assume we've got our data connected in some way, down to literally maybe a chat GBT or a kind of a chat bot. What are the different stages or components that data moves through in order to get it from this big data set or unstructured data to useful in terms of AI?
Yeah, so like as I mentioned, the big data is like a vast amount of data which is getting created from the different data source. And AI is about creating the computer system that can perform the task usually require the human intelligence, right? Think of it as a teaching a computer to think and make the decision yeah, like a human word, right? So the other fact of it, like the machine learning, this is a key part of AI where computer learn from the different data. Just imagine teaching a child about the fruits. As and when like we teach the child about the fruits, we show them a lot of different types of fruits, different types of picture. We put all the data inside his mind. Okay, this is apple, this is banana, right? With the real food and real pictures, right? So that's how he started understanding. So this is what the machine learning will do with the AI
Mm.
models. They will help the computer to learn from the available data, images, videos, links, right? The audio files.
Yes.
And there is also part of it like a natural language processing, right?
Yes.
So, which is mean by NLP help the computer understand and to interpret with the human language. For example, when you talk to a voice assistant device like Siri or Alexa, right? NLP is what allow it to understand your words and response rapidly, right?
Yeah.
And there is also a part of algorithm. So in a simple word, algorithm is nothing but the recipe. So when you
Yes.
consider when you are trying to make the cake, right, there is a particular recipes you have to follow these steps, right? Same things happened in the algorithm. It is a set of instruction that guide the computer on how to learn from data and to make the correct decisions. ChatGPT and as well as your Gemini chatbots. Those are really the next generation's AI, I would say, like, which is really helping the customers to
Mm.
build a strong model about the AI, understand about the AI, how AI can help them in a different direction, like the ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
You can easily get a lot of answers, build the code base model using the ChatGPT. When we think about chatbot, right, like this is also getting used in the claim processing. The chatbot is helping all the customer to get the data quickly and to submit their claims as fast as they can.
So we've got the big data, and then we've got the machine learning, which is almost predictive and pattern matching, things like that. Then you've got the natural language side, which is converting what we're asking the AI to an understandable language in which the computer understands effectively and back and forth. And then you've
Right.
got the algorithm and the combination of that, as well as, sorry, the interface, which is the chatbot itself. So those elements, there are actually a number of elements, right? I think people just think AI is all of those things. And my understanding is that each one of these areas have evolved over the years. And now the
Right.
combination of them are starting to come out as what we see as a product like ChatGPT or Copilot or, like you said, Gemini. How do you see AI and human analysts? This is going to be a big question for BAs. Human analysts like BAs working together to drive better insights.
According to me, AI is helping a big time for a human analyst or a business analyst. The AI and human analyst working together can really boost how we can use the data. AI is, great at shifting through the huge amount of data quickly and, spotting the pattern. And the human analyst, they can, make the sense out of it. Like, according to me, we should let the AI to do the heavy lifting, to bring the data from the different data source, to clean it, and to bring the specific pattern, to identify the pattern between the available data, and
Mm.
to build the dashboard. And at the same time, human analyst or business analyst, they should work on the business requirements. What are the different things we should come out of this dashboard, like what story we should have to build out of this dashboard, and what are the different
Yes.
patterns we are able to see, or how to make it a sensible patterns, right? These are the different stories the human analyst can build out of this big data which is available.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because people see it as a replacement of some of the activities in a BA, whereas a BA should really be focused on the business. And the analyst, like you said,
Right.
is the heavy lifting. Yeah, the heavy lifting side can be done by AI. It's about knowing the right questions to ask. Also, like you said, what are the requirements? What are you trying to achieve from the data?
That's correct.
From your perspective, what do you
Mhm.
think the key ingredients are for building a successful data-driven culture?
As and when we try to build a successful data driven culture within an organization, according to me, it should start with the leadership support, right? Without your leadership support, your employees cannot change their mindset into a data driven culture. With the set of tones for importance for a data in a decision making, it is really essential to have a clear vision and specific
Mm.
goal for how data will be used to drive an organizational level strategies. So according to me, our organizations and the leadership, they should arrange some training activities for their resources. They should train them. They should provide the available materials, and they should also explain what is our mission and objectives as a part of this data driven process. And at the same time, they should start some recognition, right? Like giving some awards to the
Mm.
employees as and when they bring some kind of big time insights from the available data. So that will definitely motivate all the other resources as well.
Yeah, so that's providing incentives effectively to learn this new pattern. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. So I'm going to ask a side question here because I have been involved in a couple of executive teams where the
Mhm.
board, and this is probably happening all around the world right now, there's probably board members meeting or an executive team meeting going, we need to get into AI. Like our competitors are getting into AI. They're not sure what
Yeah,
AI is, but they're like, we must embrace AI. And then that may be that's the only directive they've given their organization. What do
right.
you think that's a mistake? And you talked about before having a very specific mission vision. Do you think it's enough to just say get into AI, or do you think you need to be really clear about what you want to achieve, like any other project?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned before, there should be a very specific objectives why we are moving to the AI. What are our end goal? Is it our end goal to make our product more, the client specific, or should we have to, the bring more clients to our organization as and when, like, also there are a couple of companies they started building the AI considering the future. Like if they build the AI, then they will have more clients. And there are other types of companies like they have already some requests from the clients like to automate this process using the AI technique. So that's how some of the companies moving toward the AI. But but all the businesses and companies as well as their leadership, they should have very clear vision and mission why they want to start using the big data or AI. And what are the different factors, how we can train our resources, what might be our roadblocks. Because AI and big data, if you are moving towards that side, then initially there will be some x amount of expenses you have to do to train your
Yes.
resources to buy some new tools, new technologies.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that's some of the biggest obstacles is probably that initial investment that you're then
Yeah.
paying off along the way. What, in terms of the future of big data and AI, what are you most excited about? What do you think the new emerging technologies will look like?
I am very excited about the explainable AI, which is called XAI. As the AI system become more complex, there is a growing need of transparency in the how they make the decision. So XAI
Mm,
is more focused on making the AI model more understandable and more transparent. This technology will help to bridge the gap between the AI and powerful capabilities, and the need for human to oversight the accountability. At the same time, I am also excited about the quantum computing, which is also on the horizon as the game changer for a big data and AI. I think with the quantum computing, right, and it is ability to process the vast amount of data at unpredicted speed, that will help all the businesses, right, to get the real time feedback faster than expected. I think the future of big data and AI is moving towards more intelligent, transparent, and efficient system, where this XAI technique, right, which I have mentioned, explainable AI, which will help to reduce the gap between the trust between the customer and the companies.
Because I think there's a lot of concern around ethics in AI and, like you said, transparency. So that sounds like an exciting thing for us to
Right.
watch out for. Do you, in terms of young professionals and BAs, data analysts, are there like some top five skills that they should be learning when it comes to AI and big data?
I would start with the very basic, which is their domain knowledge. Right.
Yes.
So as and when they start with any data project, they should have the domain knowledge about that. Like, how the insurance data looks like, how the retail data looks like, what are the different factors for banking data, right? So to gain that kind of knowledge you will get when as and when you more study about that particular domain. There are a lot of data literacies, right? Like what kind of data comes out of the insurance claim for auto as well as for your personal claim, right? These are there are different types of claims, right? So we have to understand all those claims. Also, at the same time, I would suggest that they should stick to one programming language, maybe
Yes.
Python or R, which is commonly used throughout the all big data and AI technologies. They should have one visualization tool, Power BI or Tableau or any kind of visualization tool, or maybe Excel is also fine. But they should have the curiosity and to learn more about the data, to
Mm.
bring the insight of the data, and they also understand like how we can move the data from one source to other source. So they should understand the ETL process, right?
Yes.
What are the different ETL processes are there? Extract, transform, and load, right? I will also suggest them to focus on the communication skill, because you are going to build your dashboard, right, out of messy data. But at the end, you have to explain that dashboard to your leadership team, your C
Yes.
level executive. So you should have that communication skill to be at your top, like to convince your leadership, okay, this is my dashboard, this is the pattern I have understand, and you should go with this route.
Because you've focused on domain knowledge, which is business. You've focused on explaining to the executive that's business. You've talked about some tools that you can use to talk to the data. But one of the things you didn't talk about, which I found interesting, was actually, nitty gritty, kind of the technical side. What you've actually focused on more is more the business side than the nitty gritty technical side, which I like because I think that's really important. And that's where BAs generally play. But the value seems to be using that information to make business decisions.
Why I'm more putting a more weightage on the business side or a domain knowledge, because the technology will come and go. There will be today there will be Python, or tomorrow maybe C Sharp or Java, right?
Yes.
Some of the companies is more comfortable with the Java. Some of the companies are more comfortable with Python. Today, some companies use Power BI. Some companies use the Tableau. So these are the different tools and technologies are available in the market. But at the end, we should have our analytic basics very strong. Data reading techniques should be very strong to understand the data. That should be very strong. Even though if you don't know about the Python or R, right, you can easily use the SQL or PL/SQL or Oracle, and you can bring your data to your visualization tool.
Thank you so much for your time. I want to, before you go, Pankaj, what is the most important thing you would like our listeners to take away from our conversation about big data and AI?
To all the listeners, I would like to say the AI and the big data, these are the technologies which will be there for a longer period of time. So get used to with this. Learn more, be curious, ask the questions to your leadership, ask the question to your, the mentors, make more connections. There are a lot of organizations or meetups are happening, right? So they should register, they should volunteer their time and to learn from the industry leaders and experts, like how the big data and the AIs are getting used into different industries. At the same time, they should also work on their basic skills, maybe one programming language, domain knowledge, visualization tools. So be curious, keep learning, keep studying, do a networking, learn from your leaders and on from your networks.
Thank you so much, Pankaj. We'll catch up soon and we'll follow your journey as you write more around AI and big data. We hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you, Ben. It was a pleasure, to speak with you today.